This here is the brand new Tune Outdoor M1L, L meaning light. So we have the M1 on our 2007 Toyota Tundra. That one has the sides that protrude out a little bit before it comes up, giving you more living space inside the camper. This one, being that it is their light version, it comes straight up. It doesn't stick out at all. So this one's going to be better if you want that smaller footprint. So that way, if you're doing a lot of tight trails or you just don't like the way it looks when it sticks out, this is going to be the better one for you. But in this video, we're going to talk about everything we did to prepare you for pretty much any camper that you're going to be putting on here. So that way it's fully sealing your bed for dust and water. But we're going to get started back here. So the very first thing we did, and what I would recommend for pretty much everybody to do if you're getting any kind of camper or even a canopy, to do this step. So what we did here is we pulled up the plastic bed caps that are on pretty much every truck out there. And then we laid down a tape of aluminum tape. So that way it seals up all the holes. We also use a mixture of butyl tape, which is kind of like a putty that will seal bigger holes like this Tacoma has on the front side of it on both sides. And a mixture of silicone, and we use Sikaflex for that. Sikaflex is amazing. It's probably the best product out there for something like this. So the 4th Gen Tacoma has a lot of crevices and cracks that we needed to seal up more than my Tundra did. So what I did was I laid a bead of Sikaflex from the front all the way to the back, and then I smooth it out. You probably don't have to. You don't want to because it is all going to be covered up anyways once the plastic caps goes back on. But if you see any crevice or crack, seal it up. Every truck's going to be a little bit different. So if you have a Chevy or a Ford, whatever, it's going to be a little bit different than what you see in this video here. But seal up everything you can. That way when the camper goes on, it's going to be fully sealed, because once the camper is on, or the canopy, whatever you're installing, there is almost no way to get underneath there without pulling it off again. So after we have fully sealed the bed on the Tacoma, we are now here at Tune Outdoor. There is our M1L hanging up over there. It's about to get mounted on. They're putting the weather strips underneath it to fully seal it from the camper itself onto the plastic sides of the bed. But my biggest thing was just getting everything else sealed so that way no water, dust, and stuff will get in there from the actual bed itself. So the last thing we're going to have to do after the M1L is going to be installed is just sealing the tailgate area, which is going to be probably the biggest area for the dust and all the water to actually get in, because that gap's pretty big in comparison to everything else. So let's get this thing installed. So we are back at the shop, obviously, and no Tune camper yet. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to chop off a little bit of the roof rack. And Tune Outdoor, they don't recommend any roof racks with their campers for a couple reasons. Like, the roof rack could hit the camper, like in our situation here, either back here or in the front, and they won't warranty it if you have a roof rack, but I'm willing to take that risk. So what we're going to do is just going to chop this off. And my main reason to keep the roof rack is for a couple things, but mainly is going to be for my light bar setup there. And I think it's going to help a little bit with the aerodynamics of the front fairing a little bit. But obviously we're not going to be able to really test that out in any way. But yeah, so we're going to cut this up. All right, guys, we are back after cutting the back part of the Rego Fabrication roof rack, just to have that inch or so of clearance, so that way if it's going to be flexed out, we're not going to have any issues with it. So let's get inside. So we are in the warehouse of Tune Outdoor, waiting for our camper to get hoisted up on their lift system here. But real quick, this is how many campers they got going on. These are all builds that they're going to be installing. Each one has a different build out, where they're getting glass sides, getting the front glass, rear glass, sliding, heater, shore power, fan, any of that good stuff here. Different canvas colors. So we got the gray because we have gray on our bed decal. We have a little 3 stripes on our bed decal in the back there. That's gray. So we're going with that gray. Well, ours is right here. You can actually see it over here. That one's ours right there. So what we did, or what we got the max air fan on top. We got the propane for the Truma heater that is inside. I love that thing. It is very expensive, but it is worth it. Not having to deal with diesel, because once you fill that, it just smells forever. I did go with the glass on the driver's side and then the aluminum on the other side. So that way we have a little bit of glass, because that is one of the things that makes Tune is having that big glass. It is very tinted, so nobody can really see inside unless it's pitch dark. You have your lights on inside and outside of the dark. So that's the only way that anybody can actually see inside. But you can obviously put up curtains or drapes or anything you want on it. But they're finishing up right now on ours, and then we'll be able to pull ours in, and hopefully it fits this time. All right, guys. So now the M1L is officially on the truck. The forklift's off, so we know now that it clears. I cut a little bit more than I needed to, but it looks good, and I can still have full access to the shore power over here. And then on the other side, it clears the exhaust now for the diesel heater. Got plenty of room there. We're not going to really hit anything. Not going to cause any damage. And then this roof rack is like perfect. I have 2 fingers between, so maybe 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches distance right here. And then this light bar couldn't have landed in a better spot. Like, I still have room right behind it, so there's not going to be any issues there. I do need to aim this a little bit higher. It's aimed a little bit low, but that's not going to change much. And then hopefully this fairing is going to help a little bit with the aerodynamics of it, just giving us maybe a little bit more MPGs, or at least reduce any of the wind noise that it's going to cause. It is like a giant wall, basically. But so far, I'm loving it. I'm loving the profile of it, and I'm excited to start using it. So this is the brand of bulb seal we're going to be using. It's made by a company called ESI. This is what we used on our Tundra and previous customers that we have installed this kit on. And they are one of the better ones, a little bit more expensive than the generic ones on the market, but I would rather it be really good than save a little bit of money. And it's not really that much. So it comes with instructions. So this kit here will work with 2023, I'm sorry, and older. And then also will work with the 2024 and newer. So basically 2nd gen, 3rd gen, and 4th gen Tacoma. The instructions are slightly different if you have the 3rd gen Tacoma or 2nd gen Tacoma compared to the 4th gen. So we're going to be using this one. It also comes with this nice little kit here, which has some gloves, some alcohol prep, so you can clean it nice and well, and whatever else in there. But we got our own alcohol here, so we'll just use this. So that's going to be the first step. We are going to spray wherever we are going to be sticking the bulb seal. So I started from the right side, worked our way to the left side, clean everything up real good, make sure there's no grease or dirt. Then there's going to be 2 sizes of bulb seals. So one, a much bigger roll. This is going to be the standard size. And then the larger bulb seal, you can tell by the size here. So the larger one, you're only going to get like maybe 2 feet or so. But small one, large one. And The instructions again are different between 3rd gen and 4th gen. So we're going to be using this one here. So pretty clear instructions. We're just going to follow that. Not going to really do a lot of talking through it just because the instructions are super easy. So if you are going to be doing this exact same kit, just follow the pictures just because it is way easier than just watching me explain the entire thing. So let's get started. So we just completed the tailgate install of all the bulb seals that were provided in the kit. We're inside the camper now just to verify that it is sealed, but we can see here, starting over here, there's a little bit of light. Obviously this one on the door, there's not much we can do about that. So that one will probably still be there, or I can try to put another bulb seal on the bed side of it to kind of close that gap up just a little bit. Right here is where that bolt is. So I could put some silicone right behind there. And then this looks pretty decent right here. The hinge for the tailgate's right here, so there's not much we can do right there. And then right down here, you can see quite a bit of light right there as well. And then that crack, this one is where the steel meets with the composite part of the bed. So I'm going to run a bead of Sikaflex silicone all the way up here to seal that up. And then this one, I'm not exactly sure what we can do, but I might just fill that up with some silicone as well. Along the bottom, nice and tight. There's no air gap, so you can see, you can't see any light over here. And then this one, exact same issues on this side, that corner, this crack on the bed from the composite to the metal. And then little spot right up here for the door. And then right back here what that bolt is. So depending on how far you want to take in, how much you want to seal, you can definitely just go crazy with silicone. Try to seal every little crack and cranny that you want to, but totally up to you. Most people are going to be fine with the way this is currently. My biggest complaint would be underneath the plastic bedsides, which is why we did that first, just because if you're getting water dripping down inside your bed here, it's going to be a big issue. Towards the back, that's easy to clean, so you can minimize as much as you can and then be okay with the amount of dust and water that does get in from back there, and then just clean it since it's back there. But if you're planning on doing any kind of cabinetry or any kind of build out inside where there's electronics or anything, this area is the most important, so make sure you seal that up fully. We now have the bulb seal fully installed, the camper's on. The last thing we're going to do is really just to find any light that is still coming through, and we're just going to put some Sikaflex or butyl tape or whatever we need to cover up those holes to really just minimize the amount of dust that's going to come in here. But pretty much the front side of the bed is fully done. We're just going to work on the back side, but we're going to be doing that off camera. But I pretty much explained what you guys needed to do if you guys are going to be doing this to your truck. I will have a whole separate video on the M1L for those who are interested on picking one of these up. And then we'll also be doing a side-by-side comparison with the M1 with the M1L, so you guys can really see the size difference. And that way you have a better game plan if you guys are planning on getting one or the other. But it's going to be it for this video. I'll have the bulb seal in the description along with the Sikaflex and anything else we used in this video. And if you guys are going to be getting a Tune from Tune Outdoor, don't forget to mention Running for Tacos when you are making your deposit. That way it helps us keep making these videos for you guys, and it lets them know how you guys found Tune Outdoor in the first place. But that's going to be it for the video. We'll see you guys next time.